Good evening, here are tonight's top stories. A woman has been charged with felonious wounding of a fellow resident in Cane Grove. A tragic boat collision has claimed lives in Maruka River, with a GDF Coast Guard craft involved. Additionally, a teenage girl lost her life in an accident in Enmore. A prominent resident of Pasad Nugger has been sentenced to 5 years for cocaine trafficking. Funeral rites were held for Police Sergeant Alex Vaugh. Police are investigating the alleged murder of a vagrant found dead in Georgetown, while a man has been charged with attempted murder. Furthermore, a former policeman has received a life sentence for a 2017 double murder. Calls for accountability arise following the tragic death of a boy in a school incident, as the family demands justice. Lastly, Rajeswar Persad has been arrested by Soku. Stay tuned for updates on these stories. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more news.
Woman charged with felonious wounding of fellow Cane Grove resident. Sharmila Wahid, a 44-year-old clerk hailing from Cane Grove, East Coast Demerara, found herself facing charges of felonious wounding on March 31, 2024. The charge stems from an alleged altercation involving Arjun Ajoda, a 55-year-old welder also residing in Cane Grove. According to reports, Wahid was arrested by a rank from the Mahayaka police station and subsequently charged with the aforementioned offense. The incident is said to have taken place on March 31, the same day as Wahid's arrest. Appearing before Magistrate Wilson at the Mahayaka Magistrates Court, Wahid had the charge read to her. She was granted bail in the amount of $50,000. The case has been adjourned to May 2, 2024, awaiting further legal proceedings. Details surrounding the alleged altercation and the extent of Ajoda's injuries remain undisclosed at this time. The legal process will continue as the matter unfolds, with Wahid now navigating the complexities of the justice system. Tragic boat collision claims lives in Maruka River. GDF Coast Guard craft involved. An alleged incident in the Maruka River this morning has left 2 individuals presumed dead and 2 others injured following a collision involving a GDF Coast Guard radar craft RC-17 and a civilian boat. According to reports, the Coast Guard vessel, under the command of a sergeant with 2 other ranks, was en route to Santa Rosa when it collided with the civilian boat carrying 4 occupants while negotiating a turnaround 6:30 hours. Tragically, 2 teachers lost their lives in the collision: Adrian Thomas, 18, of St. Bede's Primary School, and Helen Raby of Waikirby Village, Maruka sub-region. Both were aboard the civilian boat at the time of the accident. The civilian boat, powered by a 75 HP outboard engine, was captained by Thomas and was headed to Charity. The collision occurred during the GDF boat's turn, resulting in the loss of Raby and Thomas. While the Coast Guard vessel sustained damage and is currently docked at the base in the Pomeroon River, the GDF confirmed that none of its ranks were injured. Investigations into the incident are ongoing by both the Guyana Police Force and the GDF. The Guyana Defense Force, along with its Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier Omar Khan, extends heartfelt condolences to the families and loved ones affected by this tragic accident, offering thoughts and support during this difficult time. Tragic accident claims life of teenage girl in Enmore. Just days after being struck down by a speeding and intoxicated driver in Enmore, East Coast Demerara, ECD, 18-year-old Angeline Kemmeridge tragically succumbed to her injuries on Friday. Kemmeridge was one of 3 individuals injured in the accident, which occurred around 19:30 HRS on Easter Monday along the Grassfield Access Road. The 2 other victims, Kayshawn Samaru, 14, and 11-year-old Reyes Persad, a student of Hope West Primary School, also sustained critical injuries in the incident. Reports indicate that motor car PAE 3091, driven by 20-year-old Navindra Nareen, a businessman of Enmore Hope East, was heading south along the access road when the driver lost control of the vehicle. The car then plowed through the trio before landing in a nearby drain. The injured adolescents were rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital in an unconscious state, where they were admitted as critical patients. Sadly, Kemmeridge passed away around 1500 hours HRS on Friday, while Samaru and Persad remain hospitalized. Noreen, the driver responsible for the accident, was arrested on the scene. A breathalyzer test confirmed that he was under the influence of alcohol at the time of the incident. The community mourns the loss of Angeline Kemmeridge and prays for the recovery of the other injured victims. The tragic event serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers of reckless and intoxicated driving, urging for greater vigilance and responsibility on the roads. Prominent Pasad Nugger resident sentenced to 5 years for cocaine trafficking. Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, CANU, announced on Friday that Auntie Lena Noreen, a well-known resident of Pasad Nugger, Georgetown, and self-described businesswoman, has been convicted and sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for possession of cocaine with intent to traffic. Magistrate Rondell Weaver also imposed a fine of $17.1 million Guyanese on Noreen. According to CANU, Noreen was found guilty of trafficking 11.4 kilograms of cocaine. She was apprehended along with 2 others in March 2023 at her residence on Shantiniketan Street, Pasad Nugger, Georgetown, where the cocaine was seized. The street value of the confiscated cocaine was estimated at $12.5 million Guyanese. It's noteworthy that Noreen was already on high court bail for another drug-related case, having been found with 1.050 kilograms of cocaine in January 2023. Police Sergeant Alex Vaugh laid to rest. On Friday, April 5, Police Sergeant Alex Robert Vaugh, who tragically lost his life while on duty in pursuit of prison escapee Akim Wong, was laid to rest at the Helena No. 2 Cemetery in Maheka, East Coast Demerara. Sergeant Vaugh, who served diligently in Regional Police Division No. 7 as the subordinate officer in charge of the Sharima Police Outpost, was honored in a packed funeral service at the Living Fountain Ministries Church, East Coast Demerara. The service was attended by Deputy Commissioner, Operations and Mr. Ravindrat Budram, Crime Chief Mr. Wendell Blanham, Commander Region No. 7 Superintendent Dion Moore, as well as several retired and serving senior and junior officers and other ranks. In his remarks, Deputy Commissioner Budram, representing the Guyana Police Force, praised Sergeant Vaugh as a dedicated and experienced policeman. He shared personal experiences of working with Sergeant Vaugh during his time as commander of the EF Division, highlighting Vaughn's willingness to advise and share his extensive policing knowledge with colleagues. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, the executive leadership team, and the entire Guyana Police Force, Deputy Commissioner Budram extended heartfelt condolences to Sergeant Vaugh's family. The funeral service was a somber yet dignified tribute to the life and service of Sergeant Alex Robert Vaugh, a respected member of the Guyana Police Force who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Police investigate alleged murder of a vagrant found dead in Georgetown. Authorities are currently probing the suspected murder of Edward Bramnoreen, also known as Eddie, a 49-year-old individual described as a vagrant, whose lifeless body was discovered at approximately 11:20 p.m. last night at the intersection of Water and Holmes Streets in Georgetown. A female vendor in the vicinity recounted that as she was making her way home on foot, she stumbled upon Bramnoreen, whom she had known for over 18 years, lying motionless on the street. He was observed to be bleeding from a wound on his left side chest, with no one else in sight. Promptly, she dialed the ambulance service, which swiftly arrived at the scene. However, Bramnoreen was pronounced dead by Dr. Durga from the Georgetown Public Hospital upon their arrival. Detectives who examined the scene noted one stab wound to Bramnoreen's chest along with a cut to his right wrist. The area was thoroughly processed by investigators, and multiple individuals were interrogated. Subsequently, the body was conveyed to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home pending a post-mortem examination to ascertain the exact cause of death. Man charged with attempt to commit murder. Joel Benjamin, a 37-year-old laborer hailing from Queenstown, Essequibo Coast, has been charged with the offense of attempt to commit murder, allegedly perpetrated against Jonathan Singh, a minor also from Queenstown, Essequibo Coast. The incident is said to have occurred on Tuesday, April 2, 2024, within the vicinity of Queenstown, Essequibo Coast. Today, Thursday, the case was brought before Magistrate Tamika Clark at the Suddy Magistrates Court. Magistrate Clark formally read the charge to the accused. During the court proceedings, the prosecutor objected to bail, leading to Benjamin's remand to prison custody. The case has been scheduled for further hearing on April 25, 2024. Former policeman receives life sentence for 2017 double murder. Prince David Reed, a 61-year-old former policeman, was visibly emotional as he received a life sentence on Thursday for his role in the murder of two individuals during a chaotic incident in 2017. Reed was found guilty by a mixed 12-member jury of the Demerara High Court, following extensive deliberations in mid-February. The victims, identified as 36-year-old Amit Jairam, also known as Rocky, and 20-year-old Randy Richard Melville, lost their lives tragically in the melee involving Reed's minibus. Justice Simone Morris Ramlal presided over the case, ordering Reed to serve a minimum of 23 years before being considered for parole. Defended by attorney Adrian Thompson, Reed faced prosecution from State Counsel Rubina Christmas throughout the trial proceedings. The incident, which occurred on December 16, 2017, unfolded at the Tarla Dam Tarmac in Meetan Mirzorg, West Coast Demerara, WCD. Reports indicate that a dispute erupted during a game of a sheik, escalating when Reed retrieved a cutlass from his bus and attacked Premnath Bastio, injuring him. Following this altercation, Reed drove his minibus into Jairam, Melville, and another individual, resulting in the tragic loss of life for Jairam and Melville. Reed's sentencing marks the culmination of a lengthy legal process, providing closure for the families of the victims while underscoring the serious consequences of violent actions. Family demands justice. Tragic death of boy in school incident spurs calls for accountability. Following the tragic death of 11-year-old Mark Harapal, allegedly due to injuries sustained after another boy slammed a gate into his head, his family is demanding justice and calling for accountability in the wake of the incident. Harapal, a resident of Lot 4 Vigilance North, East Coast Demerara, died at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation shortly after the incident, which occurred at the Strathspey Primary School where he attended. According to reports, a gate was slammed into the left side of his head by a 14-year-old Buxton Secondary School student during a confrontation over a rag. The perpetrator, described as a school bully, reportedly pulled away Harapal's rag, prompting the younger child to chase after him to retrieve it. During the chase, the gate was pulled in, striking Harapal in the head. The incident took place between 14:30 HRS and 15:00 HRS on Monday. Vani Singh, the mother of the deceased, recounted receiving a call from the headmistress of the school, informing her of the incident and stating that Harapal had been sent home after receiving treatment for a cut sustained during the altercation. Singh, however, was shocked to find her son in critical condition upon his return home, with complaints of a headache. Despite administering a painkiller, Harapal's condition worsened, and he was rushed to the hospital later in the evening. Tragically, he passed away shortly after arrival, devastating his family. Roy Harapal, the boy's father, expressed anguish over his son's death and called for justice. He reported the incident to the Vigilance Police Station and sought legal recourse, determined to hold the perpetrator accountable. However, the family's quest for justice faced setbacks when the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, advised against pressing charges, instead recommending counseling for the perpetrator. Despite the perpetrator's parents offering financial compensation, the Harapals insisted on pursuing legal action, rejecting any attempts to suppress the truth. The grieving parents highlighted the need for schools to implement stricter security measures and called on parents to instill values of respect and responsibility in their children. They emphasized the importance of accountability and urged the government to address their son's case. Mark Harapal was described as a respectful and kind child, cherished by his family and loved ones. His untimely death has left a void in their lives, but his memory lives on as they continue to seek justice in his name. Arrest of Dave Rajeswar Persad by SOCU. The Special Organized Crime Unit, SOCU, has successfully apprehended Dave Rajeswar Persad, also known as David Persad or Raj Persad, following a wanted bulletin issued for his arrest. Persad is currently in custody, and Soku is urging individuals who may have been defrauded by him or anyone associated with him to come forward and provide information. If you believe you have been a victim of Persad's fraudulent schemes, particularly involving the sale of properties and vehicles he did not own, or if you have any information relevant to the case, please contact Soku at 592-225-3079. Your reports and statements will be handled with the utmost confidentiality, and Soku assures that appropriate legal action will be taken. Reports indicate that Persad engaged in fraudulent activities in February 2019, targeting multiple individuals by selling properties and vehicles under false pretenses. Additionally, he allegedly posed as a police officer to extort large sums of money from unsuspecting victims by promising police-related assistance. Soku encourages anyone with relevant information to come forward promptly to assist in the investigation and ensure justice is served. Your cooperation is vital in combating such criminal activities and protecting the community from further harm.